My name is MF Vandal. I'm a UK rapper and I'm from High Wycombe. MF is my initials. My first name is Michael and my surname begins with an F. I've always been Vandal since I was young, and there came a point when I had to sort of add to Vandal because of the internet and things like that. It was difficult for anyone to find Vandal just on the internet, and so I thought one day it's good enough for MF Doom, yeah, and my initials are MF. So yeah, I'm MF Vandal. That was about 12 years ago I added the MF. So people started calling me Vandal in the middle 90s. Basically, I burnt a house to the ground, like for real. We didn't necessarily do it on purpose. I was young, and I can't really tell you how it started. But me and a young pal of mine at the time, yeah, we ended up 4 stories on the roof, and flames were coming through. We had to do a runner, and yeah, locally I went down as a bit of a legend, and people started calling me Vandal. Oh man, when I was young, I remember like I was probably 3, 4 years old, and my mum bought me Pastor Ducci, yeah, and I loved it, and I remember playing it. It was like a 7 inch, like I think it must have been as it had just come out, in like very early 80s, and I just loved it, and yeah, and from then my mum would buy me like 7 inch vinyls like every few weeks of various, all different types of music that was out at the time. And I just always loved music. And as I hit my teens, it was just something that just no matter how I felt, no matter what I was going through, there was always songs that I related to that I just loved and changed how I felt. And I've always liked writing poetry since I was young. Why do I do it? It's a tough one. I'll tell you why. Like I say, I've always liked doing it, and I started penning. But as I've got older and gone through things in my life that have been really difficult to deal with, where I felt sort of alone, basically, like life has changed, and I've kind of reverted back every time to writing, putting down how I was feeling, like, because with the music, I always wanted to be able to speak real. I grew up on hip hop and stuff like that, and it was very important to me for me to put myself across in a real way. I know we all add the little bit in. I know it's a bit like a movie, but the basis of all my stuff is real. I've put in a lot of stuff that is important to me. Very personal, really, and it's just always got me through for years and years. Decades and decades, and that's important. And I like to just sort of say the real things and what we go through. A lot of people, are full of ego, and they pen stuff that because they want to be rappers. They want to be rappers. Really, I wanted to just be able to get my thoughts and feelings out there. And with hip hop, it was, it's the beat I love, and it's the way I found to communicate, and I just love it. So, I'm 45 now. I was born in Wembley. Late 70s, and things were good. We moved from Wembley because my parents, it was a bit tough in the neighbourhood I was born in, so we moved out to High Wycombe. I guess like everyone does, try and move the kids out to the country, whatever, for better life. My mum and dad were together when I was young, and I was brought up really well. They kind of split in my teens, but genuinely, like, I was well looked after. Yeah, and things were good there. And it was only really when I sort of hit my teens, started going a bit off the rails, like burning the house down and various other things. I was the first child, so I guess, they kind of like just, I had my sisters and stuff. I've got 3 sisters, and they kind of allowed it. So I had a lot more freedom. I sort of ended up mixing with, a few crowds, that are still my friends now. We've got a tight unit, and yeah, it was on road really a lot of the time. And basically, when I was 16, I was a bit hard to handle. 16, 17, my mum kicked me out, and I moved in with a friend on Cold Harbour Lane in Brixton for a couple of years, and I was at a bit of a vulnerable age really, and I wanted to be something I probably wasn't, and I was involved with a lot of people that were doing much worse than me, but we were still friends. And even though I was quite sensible, I wasn't easily led. I kind of mixed in the wrong circles, and I guess sometimes it's your friends that bring you up. So you know, that was that. And then when I was like in my late teens, my early 20s, I basically got together with my baby mother, and had two daughters, Chloe and Sky. Sky's birthday today, as it goes. But yeah, we were together for a long time, and I brought my daughters up, you know, and so I stayed off the street. You know, I'd pay the bills. I was like the first person that really had a family and a house and stuff like that. And all my mates were out doing things, but I didn't really want things to be like that. So you know, I raised my kids. I stayed at home with my girls. Like, you know, brought them up. You know how my parents brought me up, man. I didn't want people judging my kids on maybe like how my people and the people. You know, it's tight community, innit? Everyone knows. You know, I didn't want things to be like that. So I put a lot into that. Stayed out of trouble. Still did my music. Stayed out of trouble. But yeah, about 10 years ago, like I broke up with their mum, and my daughters were like 15 by then. And you think like it's an easier age to deal with, but we fell out, and they stopped speaking to me, like literally like fuck off, mate. Do you know what I mean? Which kind of broke my heart and put me in a bad place. And I went from my house and having a nice little cushy family life and being a sensible guy that wouldn't, you know, go out and, you know, do things with my pals and stuff, to somebody that was, you know, in their middle 30s, broken, you know, damaged real bad, and went from having like how I felt like everything into a room where it was just me at my nana's house, who was like dying of dementia. And that was when I've always put into my music. I always have, but I went in solid. Yeah, I was going in hard. So all I was doing in my spare time was going straight to my microphone, straight to my pad and paper, and just writing like all my emotional feelings. You know, did not really wanting to leave my room that much because my nan was not in a good way, and I just put in so much and started like breaking myself down a bit. Started like mixing with those people, you know, like who were all starting to at that point grow up and have their family lives, and kind of I was growing down, you know, and my music saved me then, you know what I mean? I put a lot into it. My goals and ambitions are like, I know it's a bit of a funny one. My goal is to basically be able to build a relationship with my adult daughters, you know, so I can put that behind me. And my ambitions are just for people to hear my music and keep working at it, and you know, and keep putting the work in, keep writing my heart out, man. Three words that define me: a fucking problem. Where do I see myself in the next 5 years? Sadly, maybe dead. I get my inspiration from all places. To be honest, I've had a lot of inspiration from pain. You know, like I write a lot because things are bothering me right there and then. Yeah, it's something that really just helps me in bad times. Like I've reached for my pad and my pen, and I'll write stuff to, you know, I don't know. It's weird. It kind of just it pulls me through any situation, you know. So yeah, that's what inspires me. I'm inspired by other people's music, like other artists, you know, all lots of different genres, mainly hip hop, but there's just way too many to mention, man. Like, you know, just all the people that used to be in your CD rack. You know what I mean? You know who you are. I know who you are. No. Like, do you know what? When it comes to creative process, there's all different stages. Sometimes I lock myself away in the studio with stuff on my mind that I want to write about and talk about, and I want to construct songs. Other times it's a bit more fun. The boys will come around. We'll sit in the studio. You know, sort of throw things back and forward. Yeah, but my main process in the songs that I've really enjoyed writing are times when, you know, it's been real hard stuff to talk about, and I feel like I'm bleeding my heart out, to be there and listened to by people. So yeah, I suffered a stroke end of last year, and it all comes back to the same thing. That shit with my kids broke my heart, mate. Like it's like having your whole world turned upside down in a second. They call it parental alienation. I got on well with them, but life changed in a second, yeah. And like I say, I was locked away in the studio. I was drinking. I was doing drugs. I was going to work, like hardly any sleep. I was coming back, you know, getting on it. It was no rest. And for basically 5 years, I went in so hard. And people should remember this. I went in so hard like it didn't matter, like I was still like in my 20s. And then yeah, one morning last year, and I've fixed up now. It's not the same as that anymore. Yeah, even before that happened, and basically one day I woke up and my mouth was a bit funny, and you know what I mean? Like my mates were taking a fucking piss out of me, calling me shit like stroking a bandit, salad face and that, because your boys are going to be the ones, isn't they? But I didn't think it was like that. I waited a couple of days, rang the ambulance, they come and got me, and they were like, fuck man, you've had a stroke. So yeah, so that happened. Luckily my face got better and it was only my face. So since then, I'm in a stable relationship now. I've got a good girl, but it's repairing the lifetime of damage. Do you know what I mean? I want to still be here. I've got stuff I want to do, but like I say, I went in, man. I went in, and it is what it is. I'm not ashamed of it, man. My warning is to people, be careful, man. You know what I mean? Because that shit is real. Music helps me through everything. Music's. What's it? It's the soul, man. There's so many different things. From when you're feeling sad, there's tunes you go for. When you want to drive fast around the motorway, there's tunes you're going to listen to. Just music's just always there. It just helps me focus on stuff like other aspects of my life because, I'm an artist. I've put stuff down. I've got stuff there that's there for all people to hear, which is a blessing. So you know what? I think to myself, music's important to me. We are part of it, and you know what I mean. It makes me stay focused and like I want to be healthier because I said that like where do you see yourself in 5 years? But it's a truthful worry, man. You know what I mean? And maybe I've already pushed it too far to pull it back. Which I am doing. I've switched up life, and you know what I mean. Hopefully, 5 years you'll still be listening. I love a collaboration. First of all, I don't really like working with dickheads with big egos, basically. And unfortunately, in this hip hop, there's a lot of that. A lot of them don't even know who they are. But when I like to do a collab, my favorite collabs are ones when basically the tune's already done, yeah, with just a gap for me, and they'll offer up their song. It's something obviously I've got to be feeling, and yeah, so I can just like bounce off their track and just fill the gap. Like that's my favorite process because it's quite quick, quite easy, and I tend to write all that stuff pretty quick, just straight off the back of like what the song and the content's about. Like other collaborations when we really start at the beginning are also good. I love that too. But I just dope artists really like, and I like things. I'm starting to like a bit of abstract, so things that maybe collabing with people that don't necessarily do the same genre of music as me, and trying to mold them together. What can you expect from me in the future? Well, right from now till however long the future is, I'll be penning my heart out, putting everything I've got into this music game, and yeah, just keep riding on it. You know what it is? I have got shit to get off my chest. Like I say, like I hate bringing it back to the family thing, but people, we've all got kids and we've all in situations and people have lost people and family and stuff like that. And, what else can you lose that isn't going to fuck you up like that? Like it's, it destroyed me, mate. Like, I went from having a great relationship to my daughters to they won't speak to me. And like, I've got a young son who I don't get to see. So there's some parts of my lyrics that I've written down to be heard maybe after I ain't there because I've wanted to say and give my opinion on it. Yeah, like I have got I don't rap because I want to be a rapper. I think some people are like, right, I want to be a rapper, so now I'm going to rap and I'm going to act how I think a rapper should act. Yeah, whereas with me it was more like, yeah, I think I was a bit like that when I was young, but it kind of grew into something where it was more than that. Like it really was so powerful, the stuff I would write. And I don't mean lyrically, or it's the content, and some things were just so real. It was like, we used to say undeniable. I wanted to write stuff that was like undeniable. And the best stuff I've written is when, I'm emotionally drained and I'm really pissed off or sad or something's really got under my skin. So maybe it comes off with the aggressiveness because I'm not an aggressive person. But I have also liked aggressive music, you know what I mean? I I like the bangers. I like your sticky fingers, like my dog's guns and things like that. You know, like I love it. I used to love a bit of Bone Crusher. You know, like so maybe that rubs off on me. But you know, like I'm not coming through with an ego. If you don't like my shit, then don't fucking listen to it. Do you know what I mean? Like I don't give a fuck. You know, it is what it is. You know, it helps me. It helps me, and if it helps other people too, yeah, on their journey, then brilliant. But if you don't like it, you know, stay fuck away from me, because like if you don't like it, well, you got to tell me you don't like it, because I don't give a fuck. I truly don't give a fuck. You know what I mean? People should take me serious because I'm a serious guy and I've got serious things to talk about. MF Vandal on all platforms.